Hello, Mithril here once again, getting back to Megaman Battle Network for both versions. It's time to discuss linking the games. Now, this is largely a new process for me. I haven't really bothered with this all that much, so I'm operating largely on hearsay here. But anyway, it's time to cross the streams, so let's go for it. Go down to the Comm menu, save our progress, and here we go. So you have four basic options here. Net Battle, which is just linked net battling, which is pretty much what we've seen in previous games. You can either do it for free or actually wager chips on the outcome. But unlike previous entries in the series, there are no unique battle chips to be gained simply through linked net battling. Trade, that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just trading chips back and forth, or you can trade a chip for nothing to just give one away for free if you happen to have extras. Now we have Compare. This compares your chip library with that of the person you're linked to. This is something we do want to go through. Comparing libraries. There's new data in the data library. So, if we go over here to the secret chip menu, notice that we have entries for all of the Soul Unison Navis from the other version of the game. We should be able to buy these from Higsby's now. Let's see here. Yeah, you don't get entries for the Giga Chips. There's no way to get those over on your version. You get the 5 that you start with, and that's it. Alright, so we've done that, but we do have one other thing that we want to take care of in the Comm menu. So let's do this again. This time, we're going to go down to Waiting Room. This is a special bit of an entry. This one is kind of unique. So, let's go to Reception. Accept battle with a Navi sent by friend. Meanwhile, over on Blue Moon, we're going to go to Visit. Send a trusted Navi to your friend's match. Alright, so I can send up to 7 Navis over there. So I may as well send all the ones I have. So we'll send Proto-Man, and over here we accept entry. And there we go. Protme Room. So, yeah, it accepts the Navi that was sent as well as who sent it. So, let's do this again. We'll go ahead and send everybody over. So, Metal Man. And we send Aquaman. It's a bit of a tedious process, but this should pay off in the end. It'll be kind of interesting. Alright, next up we send Number Man. Not sure why you can send 7 when there's only 6 total. Go ahead and send Junkman. And Woodman. Alright. I guess it's in case you want to accept entries from other people, come to think of it. But anyway, we're just interested in the Navis, and we've sent all of them. So with that, we've pretty much taken care of all the link game shenanigans I really wanted to. So, time for a refreshing pause, and we'll come back just to Red Sun to see what we can do with all this. Every day's great at your Jomon. Right, anyway, now that we've linked the games, we need to go over to Higsby's. That's where all the important stuff is going to happen. So, let's go right over here. First thing we need to do is check out chip order. Now that we've compared libraries, all of the entries that we saw for the first time there, those show up at the very top of the list. Very convenient, that, though it doesn't show prices. However, if you try and order one... A Proto-Man, huh? I'll see if I can order it. I have a B. That's 10,000 Zenny, okay? Absolutely. And then it works as normal. So yeah, obviously getting all these is going to be a bit on the pricey side. That's why I hacked my way to max Zenny. Now as far as hacking codes, there's a really nice list of them over on GameFAQs, so if you're looking for hacking codes, that's a pretty good resource for them. Now the ones I had to use, they were a bit of a misnomer. There isn't really a code just to outright max your Zenny, at least not on that list. There might be one, I'd be kind of surprised if there wasn't. But the way I had to go about it was I had to use a code that claimed that if Green Mystery Data was already going to give you Zenny, it was going to just go ahead and max out your Zenny. However, it doesn't quite do that. It just gives you a really large amount, I think like 65,000 some odd. So I used that in combination with another code that made Green Mystery Data infinite. That is to say, if you see Green Mystery Data and take it, it doesn't go away. You can take it multiple times. So I found one that was going to give me a huge amount of Zenny, and I just took it until I had max Zenny. Convoluted way to do it, but hey, it worked. But yeah, just full disclosure of how I ended up with max Zenny here. I wasn't going to go grinding for it, not again. We will be using some other hacking codes later on in the extras here, just for the sake of showing some things off, so yeah, just full disclosure. And that's all of them. So yeah, that was a good 300,000 worth of Zenny. Alright. But anyway, looking in the library now and going over to the secret chips, they now all show up as full-fledged chips, not those mystery blank ones we saw earlier. And of course it works in reverse over on Blue Moon. The Red Sun Soul Navis show up as the secret chips over there, but this means we can put these chips in our folders if we so desire. Pretty nice, that. So with that all taken care of, the next thing to cover is the free tournament. And as exciting as this little bit of footage has been, we are going to go ahead and call a refreshing pause here. Reason being, much earlier on in the project, I was curious and I wanted to try the free tourney thing, see how it works. It actually crashed my game, so I'm hoping we can avoid that. So, back in a moment. Now, during the refreshing pause here, I did do a little bit of off-camera fooling around with more Link game shenanigans. I went ahead and I traded all the Red Sun Navis over to Blue Moon just to even things out, and there was another option under comparison I wanted to look into: compare records. I thought this might be the way to, for example, get all my Blue Moon records over on Red Sun so that I could max out those SP chips. Unfortunately, that does not work. Compare records can only be used between the same version. Red Sun can only compare records with other Red Sun games, Blue Moon can only compare records with other Blue Moon games. So, that's out. Alright, and with that, it's time to participate in the free tournament. The only real requirements to doing this are that you have to have access to Higsby's, and you have to have gotten at least one Navi traded into your waiting room from another game. So, let's get right to it. Free Tournament BBS, Muck Battle Navis in the waiting room. Do you want to start a free tournament? Indeed we do. So, it's tournament format. Now, any empty slots you had in your waiting room, you might have seen it got filled with a normal Navi. And first up we have Aquaman. Notice that they have the same health as the player that traded them over. They also kind of fight according to Dark Soul rules, that is to say, they can use pretty much whatever chips they want. So let's go Search Soul, Invis, Full Custom, and just ditch one of those. Let's see here. Oh, we've got 2 parts of this. That would be very nice. And no such luck. I'm actually probably in a worse position than I was earlier. But we're so close, let's just get rid of some of those. Okay, we did some good damage there. And we have the rest of this. And just to add insult to injury, let's make it even stronger. And so, Bodyguard. Barely got out of that. Now, you don't get a ranking for your victory. All that matters is you get through the tourney. And one kind of cool thing, you actually can watch the AI duke it out if you want. So, Numberman versus Woodman. You can press select if you want to just skip the battle, though. Numberman is not doing too well here. Well, at least he got one hit in. And there we go, Woodman wins. So next up we have Junkman versus Protoman. Okay, Protoman goes Invis. And uses Delta Ray. With terrible timing. Protoman can't use his own chip very effectively. That's kind of funny. The AI is making some kind of derp moves here, just standing right in the way of the junk and everything. Not looking too good for Protoman. Summons himself. Has himself summoned on him. That was an interesting exchange. And Junkman shows Protoman how to really use air hockey. So Junkman advances, and now Metalman versus Normal Navi. Like I said, the Normal Navi will fill any slots in the tournament bracket that don't have an actual Navi to go into them. They can also be filled with heal Navis, so that's another possibility. If at all possible, you do kind of want these ironed out, because they don't really give you any good results as far as beating them. Normal Navis, if you beat them at the end of a tournament, they just give you Zenny. Heal Navis give you bug frags. Unfortunately, it's not really looking all that good for Metalman here. So yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm gonna have to hope that Junkman takes him out. Meanwhile, I have to fight Woodman. Alright. Man, I'm close again. Alright. Invis, full custom. I'll hang on to that just in case. Alright. Well, they really want me to have this combo, and I won't complain. No damage modifiers, but I can speed up the custom gauge. And there we go. Alright, Junkman, I'm counting on you. Already not really looking good. Come on, Junkman, stop standing in the way of the cannon blasts. It's not good for your health. Okay, at least the fanfare's gone. Stop catching bombs! It's getting close. Alright, Junkman wins. Good. That was a very near thing. I would have been disappointed. So anyway, for the final, I have to fight Junkman. Man, that normal Navi gave it his all. Alright. Man, There's some good combos here, if only I had access to another Invis. We're just going to advance the turn quickly. Alright. No air hockey just yet, but we can summon base. That won't help you. And no such luck. But we may as well use these anyway. And there we go. We win! We did it, Len. We won a free tournament. Congratulations. Here's your prize for winning. And we get Panel Shot 3. Lifts panel and throws it. This is the main purpose of the free tournaments, is to get a bunch of secret chips. Because that is the classification that counts as going into the library, and coming over to Secret Chip, we have Panel Shot 3. But there's a lot of these. There are 3 levels of these for every Soul Unison Navi in the game. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here legitimately battling for each and every one of these. So, yeah, we're going to use some hacking code so I can at least show the full library, so back in a moment. And hacking complete. The codes that I used this time were labeled as Get Chip from Battle, and it's pretty much what it says on the tin. You put in code for a specific chip, get into a fight and win it, and no matter what your busting rank was, you'll get the chip you asked for, pretty much. These are rather reliable codes for getting the chip both in your pack and in the library. I've been told, for example, that the library completion codes, they can be a little bit on the iffy side. They can even be harmful to game data. But these codes, I've never had a problem with them. They were certainly good enough for this. We have lots and lots of secret chips. Now, the Navi you defeat in the finals of a free tournament, that determines which chip you get. Roll gives you Roll Arrow. Roll Arrow destroys chips. Gutsman gives you Gut Punch. Launches Gut Punch ahead. From Windman you get Prop Bomb. Rushing causes an explosion. From Searchman you get Seek Bomb. Throws a bomb at the enemy. From Fireman you get Meteors. Fires 5 meteors at enemy. From Thunderman you get Lightning. Thunder strikes obstacles. From Protoman you get Hawk Cut. Cut twice, once wide, once long. From Numberman you get Number Ball. 3-shot ball attack, reduce HP. Yeah, that's clear. From Metalman you get Metal Gear. Gear crushes enemy area. From Junkman you get Panel Shot. Lifts panel and throws it. From Aquaman you get Aqua Up. Raises Aqua Towers from crack. And finally Woodman gives you Green Wood. Raises wood towers from grass. So the Navi that you defeat, that determines which type of chip you get. But the question remains, what determines the level of the chip? From all the research I did, and I had to go through a lot of conflicting information to find this out, apparently the main consideration is the base HP of the Navi that you fight. Now, obviously the HP is determined by the Megaman that sent you that Navi. For example, in my case, my Blue Moon Megaman has 1050 HP, so did all the Navis he sent over. The plus 50 HP part, though, it does not factor into this calculation. 1 HP to 399 will always give you version 1. 400 to 699 always gives you version 2. 700 to 999 always gives you version 3. But a full 1000 HP, that gives you a random version. From everything I've researched, it seems to prioritize whatever the highest level is for the chip that you do not currently have. For example, my first tournament over on Blue Moon, I ended with Windman, and so I got Prop Bomb 3. I went through a few more tournaments before I had another one that ended with Windman, and then he gave me Prop Bomb 2. From what I've read, if you have all 3 versions of a chip, you'll instead just always get version 3. But still, going for the max 1000 HP, that seems to be the best option if you're just after getting all the chips for library completion purposes. Still, it's nice to have a variety. Since these count as just standard class chips, you can have more than one in your folder. Pretty handy, that. Now, before we leave the subject of secret chips, there are a couple of others that I've read about, but I don't know of any way to get them legitimately in the games themselves. These would be Grand Prix Power and Duo. Now, they might be similar to the base chip in the original Battle Network, how there was no actual way to get the chip in the game itself, but there were events where you could send in your cartridge and have Capcom put the chip in your pack for you. It's sort of akin to getting Mew on your old copies of the original Pokemon games. The really strange thing, though? These chips were not listed on that set of hacking codes I was using for Get Chip from Battle. Now, they were listed in a set of codes that worked as in-battle modifiers for what you have in the custom screen, but they were listed in a pretty weird place, tucked in between dark chips and a set of strange nonsense chips that were basically all the program advances without having to assemble them. This seems pretty weird to me, almost like the data isn't quite real. Now, maybe if I learn more about them, I'll demonstrate them later in a Revisiting the Past video, but for now I think we're just going to let these go. So before we leave things off here, a quick bit of research I did over on Blue Moon. You might notice the blessed absence of panic music. That's because I'm on New Game 4. I wanted to go through the first tourney to find something out. I'd heard that if you link Red Sun and Blue Moon, the opposite version Soul Unison Navis can start appearing in your in-game tournaments. And that indeed seems to be the case. Despite being on Blue Moon, I did encounter Gutsman here. Now, here's where this makes a difference. Of course you can't actually get the other version's Soul Unisons, that's completely out. However, if you encounter a Soul Unison Navi in a free tournament, that doesn't really count as running into that Navi. They don't start appearing on the net or anything like that. But after actually going through the Gutsman scenario here on Blue Moon, Gutsman did appear in his set location in AC/DC 2, and after I beat that fight, he started appearing in his Omega form running around that area as a random encounter. So this is how you max out the SP chips in your version of the game. Case in point, I do have a deletion record here for Gutsman on Blue Moon. Now, as long as we're here in the records page, there is something else I do want to cover about linked net battling. There aren't any unique chips you can get from it, but there is a system where the more you beat a player of the opposite version of the game, the more it strengthens your version's unique Giga chip, either Blue Moon or Red Sun. Now, I don't know all the specifics of this, like I don't know what the damage cap is, or how exactly the calculations work, so if anybody knows for sure, feel free to write in. So yeah, with this system, you can pretty much get all the Navis running around. A word of warning about this, though. I've been told that if you do this before you have all the Soul Unisons in your game, it can mess up tournaments to a certain point, and I've heard things even as bad as it actually bricking the game to where you cannot reboot it, period. It's a bit of a dire claim, so I don't know how much I believe this, but given the coding in this game, I can't completely dismiss the possibility. Just to be on the safe side, I'd wait to trade with the other version until you've at least gone through the final tournament on your third playthrough of the game to maximize the chances of having gone through every possible scenario on your game first. Of course, one other warning. If you actually go through with getting all the Omega Navis running around, the net becomes a kind of frightening place. Won't put that up on Still Store Cambot? Yeah, with all the Omega Navis running around, Black Earth 1 is the only place on the net without an Omega Navi looking to ambush you. The net's a terrifying place, yo.